If you've ever totally messed up a dip mani and you're not sure how to fix it, I got the solution for you. What's up, nail crew? It's Nicole, your fellow nail obsessed DIYer. Today we are using 915 Aesthetics. We're using their dip powders and dip liquids to do this beautiful mani that you saw at the beginning. But let me tell you, I messed up a lot today. I show you the good and the bad, and when I mess up, I like to show you and show you what happens. Today we're going to look at how you can fix a mani that's gone wrong. So it started off like normal. I poured my powder over on my first dip and I accidentally went and brushed it off really early. So I was like, well, crap. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to wait. So I tried to quickly throw another layer on to see if it would not mess up as bad. And what I did was I left that one go for a second and I went to my next nail and I was like, okay, I can start working on my ombre. So what I wanted to do was do this fun neon mani that had two nails ombre. The other three were the solid colors, and then put some fun stickers on. So the ombre started going well. And when you're doing an ombre, the method that I found that works the best is a combination of tap and then scrub. So what I do is I tap the powders on, and then once they have a chance to sit on my nail, I'll scrub them in a little bit on the second dip. That really helps them to blend together. I've noticed it was going well until I started doing the second layer of the ombre. The orange that I'm using, this orangish pink, is a lot more pigmented than the blue, so it's really bright, and I got a little bit too much of it over the line, in a weird angle. So you'll see when I go to brush off the second layer of the ombre that there's a little jut out of the ombre of the orange part compared to the blue. It kind of just sticks out, not in a nice ombre way. It just sticks out in a weird, I put too much powder in one section. So I tried to start going in right off the bat with the blue and really brushing it in to see if I could blend it in better. But sometimes when you have an ombre that the colors are just, very different. So this orangish pink was super bright, super pigmented compared to the blue. The ombre effect didn't come out quite as nicely as I wanted. So I'll show you how I fix that later. I kept scrubbing and scrubbing the blue in, thinking okay, maybe I can, if I scrub in hard enough, I can fix it, but it just wasn't working because the oranges pink was just too pigmented. The three colors that I used were called Dream, Flare, and Dazzle. So the blue was Dream, the hot pinkish orange is Flare, and then the purple that I'm going to be using is called Dazzle. They're absolutely beautiful. And I did the middle finger. That one went really well. And then I started working on my ombre for the ring finger. Now, knowing that the pointer finger went a little bit off and the colors didn't ombre quite as nicely as I made sure that I very carefully tapped for the other two. So some people like to use fluffier eyeshadow brushes to do their tapping, or some people like to use thinner eyeshadow brushes or ombre brushes to do their ombres. It just really depends on your preference. When Rachel sent me this package, the owner of 915 Aesthetics, she sent me this awesome package of dip powders and liquids. Thank you so much. She also sent that thinner ombre brush. So it actually worked out perfectly that when I was tapping the purple, I had a thinner ombre brush. And if you're somebody who struggles with ombres, the thinner brushes might be better for you than the bigger, fluffier ones because you're able to more precisely tap where you want your powders to go. So that's something to think about. It's really a personal preference, but if you're struggling, a smaller ombre brush might be better. On that second layer that I ombre'd Dazzle first. And the reason that I do that is when I do an ombre, I like to switch the order of colors on the first and second dips. Doing the color that you ombre'd second, doing that first on your second layer really helps the colors to blend better together. That's the start of how you get the ombre to blend nicely. And then the second step for me is to scrub the colors. I know that most people like to do either tap or scrub, but sometimes you have to just figure out what works for you. And doing that combination of tap first, then scrubbing is really what works best for me. I messed up my ring finger a little bit. When I was laying my nail flat, it got a little bit chunky and wonky on the sides. One of the things I messed up with this mani that's harder to see is I flooded my cuticles a lot. And when I'm using new liquids, I'm just not used to how they work. These liquids are nice and thin, but they ran a little bit for me because I just wasn't used to how much to put on the brush. So that's something to be aware of, like when you're using new liquids, is how to get them to work best for you. So some thin liquids are a little bit runnier, so you have to be really careful about how much you put on the brush, and I'm not used to these, so I definitely got them into my cuticles more, and I'm going to show you how I fix that. But first we have to start with doing the little cute stickers over top, and I messed up the blue on my hand so bad. You saw the first layer of blue that I brushed off too early, and then on the second layer I accidentally forgot to video this. When I brushed off the second layer, I totally brushed that one off too early too, and there was like this huge chunk missing in the middle of my nail. So when I did the stickers, I just strategically placed them where they needed to go to brush off the areas that looked a little empty, where I had like basically like a gap and didn't have much powder on it. This is the nice thing about stickers or decals or, using anything like that, is you can cover up your mistakes, especially stickers. If you're not used to using, like decals or water slides, or you don't want to stamp, you struggle with that, stickers are going to be your best friend because all you have to do is pick them up and place them where you want them to go. I've been wanting to do a neon mani for summer with animal print, and I had these stickers out, and as soon as I messed up my nails, I knew exactly what I was going to do with the stickers. So there were those really cute little like stripes, and I used those on the middle of the ombre so you couldn't tell that my ombre was messed up. And then I used the bigger stickers on my thumb so that you couldn't tell where there was a gap. And a gap was a nice way of putting it. There was really just like a big hole in the dip powder where I brushed off too early. So once you finish doing your stickers, you want to make sure that you press them down really, really well. That's going to be a key to keeping them nice underneath the clear dip powder. And I always do my stickers over my last color layer, press them down super well, and then I cover with clear dip powder. Now, when I'm doing the clear dip powder over stickers, I like to make sure that I have a lot of clear on. So what I do is I apply my dip base, I float it over my stickers, and then I basically keep pouring the clear until it is totally soaked up. If you do that, then you are going to keep your stickers from, getting ruined when you do the activator. So you can see as I'm doing the activator on my stickers, they're not going anywhere, okay? The stickers look great. They look exactly the same, and that means that I put enough clear over top to fully encapsulate them. Once you have all your clear on, you brush off any of the excess with a stiff nail brush, and then once they're dry, you can go in and do your filing, buffing, and shaping. So this is where I'm going to show you how I fix some of the other parts that I messed up when I flooded my cuticles. I actually have a new bit that I used. If you know me and watch any of my other videos, you know that I love trying new nail stuff, new products, new drill bits, basically new anything. There were these new cuticle bits that I saw on Amazon one day when I was scrolling, and it said they were to seal your cuticles. And I was like, these look interesting. I am definitely gonna grab these and see how they go. Okay, so they're carbide bits. They come in a pack. I think there's like 6 or 7, something like that in the pack. And they have like this funky little shape that's tapered, and then the edge is like flat. So the tapering of the bit allows you to get close to your cuticles and really clean them up. And because they're carbide, they're not like slicing up your skin. So my normal bit that I use, you have to be insanely careful with because it can slice up your skin. This one, I was like touching my skin with it, and I was able to clean up all of the mess that I made on my cuticles, all the places where I went over and got it on my skin. I cleaned it up for these beautiful cuticle lines without cutting my skin. I was so excited. I have been using these bits now for like my last couple manis. I'll make sure I link everything from the video in the description. If I don't say it, I always link everything that I use in the description so that you guys know and can find anything that you want. These little bits were awesome and I've kept using them, and they are definitely going to be my new go-to bit. So we're going to jump into the top coating, and whenever you're doing top coating for whatever brand you're using, you have to follow their instructions. I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, I couldn't, oh, these brands just didn't work for me, like, and then they go through their top coating and they didn't follow the instructions of the brand. So you definitely want to follow the instructions of the brand. For 915, the instructions say to do a heavy amount of activator. So I did 2 passes of activator on each nail, like at the same time. So I'd like dunk the brush in, dunk it onto my nail for the activator, dunk it back in the bottle, and then put it back on my nail. And I did that for each one, thumb to pinky. And then when I got to the pinky, it said to put a timer on for exactly 2 minutes, which I did. So I put my timer on for 2 minutes before I went in with my first layer of the dip top coat, and I did it in 2 to 3 quick even strokes like what it said to do. And then when I was going in for the second layer, that said you could do it a little bit slower. So I really went in a little bit more precise. And what I do for dip top coating is I float the layers regardless of the brand that I'm using. Floating the dip top over your nails just helps to keep the top coat from getting contaminated. And if your brushes are ones that get hard easily, you can wipe off in between each layer. I didn't need to do that with the 915. They did not contaminate easily that way. So I just, dunked the brush right back in. And if you want to learn more about getting beautiful cuticle lines, then check out this next video. Thanks for joining me today, nail crew.